PopZique's yoga session. So this is just gonna be a half an hour stretch yoga session. It's all gonna be on the mat. We're not doing any standing poses. This is basically for all of the workouts that you have been doing, that you should all sore and just tired and you're hurting. This will help you just stretch out your muscles, stretch out your body, and make sure that you're just ready to go for the next workout. So here we go, I guess. Let's get started. All right, everyone, here we go. Find a way onto your mat. We're gonna be starting an easy pose. So just seated on our mat, in front of us here, hands on our knees, our spine is straight, our head is up towards the sky. Good to go. We're gonna take a few breaths here. So let's take some really, really big, deep breaths. Make sure that your chest opens when you breathe in. And then close when you breathe out. Close. Once again, open your chest, big breath in. And a big breath out. Now at your own pace, take 3 more big breaths in and out. Relaxed and ready to get started. So let's start with some shoulder rolls. So rolling our shoulders forward. And we're to breathe in with your shoulder rolls. Maybe breathing with your shoulder rolls as well. And then let's roll our shoulders backwards as well. And more front shoulder rolls, rolling forward. And last time here, roll backwards. Perfect. Maybe let's do some really big arm circles to really get our shoulders opened. And then rolling backwards too. Maybe big circles or small circles, whatever feels good to you in your arms. One more forward. Perfect. Let's go ahead and grab our arms behind our back and pull, pulling our shoulders away from our ears, pulling our chest open. And then from here, let's grab these hands and pull them off to one side of your body. Really feeling the stretch happening here. Stretch it far. And again, pulling off and out. Pull your shoulders back and then off to the other side. Pulling our arms off to the side. Really feeling that shoulder stretch happening. Releasing our hands. Let's come in for a tricep stretch. So popping your arm up and down. Let's push your shoulder back, push your elbow backwards. Maybe grabbing your hand from behind as well and pulling that down to make the stretch even more intense, if that's what you feel like you can do. Not everyone can reach their hands like so, but if you can, go for it. Let's take that arm and we just stretch to bring it down towards the mat. And we'll lift our other arm up and over, coming in for a side stretch here. We're opening our chest towards the sky, our arm coming over and off to the side. If you want to go any deeper, you can go deeper as well. If you need to be up higher, you can be up higher. Whatever feels good for you in your stretch. And coming back up to the center, let's grab that arm that was just coming over, pull it back as well so that we can have our tricep stretch on the other side. Maybe you want to push back a little bit too. Just stretching out from all those hard workouts that we did, all those burpees, all those planks, all those push-ups. Get all those out of your system. And then drop that arm down. Let's come off for a stretch on the other side. You're gonna only go that far, only go that far. As deep as you wish to go. Still open your chest up towards the sky. Maybe gaze up at the sky a little bit too. And then finding our way back into center. Let's go ahead with our legs still crossed. We just did a whole bunch of back and side. Let's roll forward and stretch forward, rounding our spine. Maybe reaching out a little bit and straightening our spine. And we'll walk our hands back, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Perfect. Then with our spine back to straight again, let's go ahead and let our legs come out in front of us. Perfect. And then hinging at the hips, let's reach forward for your shins or your ankles, the bottom of your feet. Trying to keep the lower back as straight as possible, hinging from the hips. And reaching whatever feels good for you. Maybe have a micro bend in your knees as well as you reach. And reach. And then when you reach as far as you can go, round your spine over and reach a little bit further. And then rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Come in for a side stretch, for a twisted stretch. Let's lift our one leg up and over. So this is my right leg. My right leg I'm going to grab with my left hand, placing my other right hand behind me, keeping my spine as straight as possible and only twisting at the torso. So with every breath, let's get a little bit deeper in the twist while still keeping your spine straight, your head up towards the sky. And then slowly make your way back into the center. Let's go ahead and twist off the other direction next. So that leg is still there. Let's place your left hand next to you. We're just opening up a little bit, twisting open. And then back towards the center again. Let's switch legs here. So both legs come out in front of us. And then let's lift up the left leg, placing that on the other side. And then grabbing your left hand, left knee with your right hand, placing your other hand behind you. Coming into a twist now, twisting into that spine, into that leg. And then once again, bring our torso back to the center. We'll twist the other direction, opening up our spine. Perfect, and then back to the center again. And let's come in for one more forward fold. So feet down, hinge at the hips, and reach forward for your shins, your ankles, the bottom of your feet. And take a few more breaths here. Coming up. Let's find our way into a child's pose next. So sweeping our legs around, placing our knees here and our hips coming over our heels, placing our chest on our thigh or near the mat. Reaching our arms out in front of us and placing our head down towards the mat as well. And let's take a few breaths here, just getting deeper into the pose, really feeling the earth beneath your body. Take a few more breaths. You stay. Keep breathing. Perfect. So still in our child's pose. I'm the only one here, so I have to do everything on my own. Child's pose here. Let's go ahead and lift up your left arm in the air. Gaze up at your left arm for a second or two, and then thread that underneath your armpit, bringing the side of your face down to the mat. And let's reach your other arm out in front of you and just get a little bit of a twist going on in your child's pose. And then once again, let's bring that arm out in front of us and then reach your right arm up in the air and then thread that underneath your armpit. Bring the side of your face down to the mat on the other side. And really just feel the twist happening in your spine. Engage your whole body and feel the earth beneath you. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then let's bring that arm out in front of us again and find our way into a tabletop pose. So tabletop pose next. Your hips stacked over your ankles. The backs of your feet are flat on the mat. Your hands beneath you. Your shoulders stacked over your wrists. And now let's do some cat-cow intervals. So let's round up your spine, up your belly button, up your chin into your chest for a cat. And then round all the way down, opening your chest open, your tailbone rolls up, belly button still stuck to your spine. And then a big inhale as we come back into our cat. And a big exhale as you round back down into cow. And again, inhale as you round into cat. And exhale as you round into cow. Do 2 more, rounding up into cat. And then back down into cow. And last one here, rounding up into cat. And exhale as you round down into a cow. Find your way into a stable tabletop position. Don't try and make your arms not overextend like mine do sometimes. We don't like that. Keep a little bend in your elbow. And then let's go ahead and raise your right arm in the air and your left leg behind you. Maybe the bent foot as well. And try to find stability here. Just stabilize, maybe look at something that's not moving. Try and keep your arm and your leg as parallel with the ground as humanly possible. It's hard. I find myself doing this all the time. Down. Take a few more breaths. And then slowly drop that knee and drop that arm. Let's lift up the other side. Your left arm comes up and your right leg comes up. And let's find parallel straightness here. Parallel with the ground. Engage your core. Your belly button tucked into the side of tucked into your spine. Sorry, my laundry's going. And take a few more breaths here. Slowly lower that arm down, the leg down as well. And let's push back into a child's pose again. And just stretch your arms out in front of you. All right, and let's curl our toes under. We're pushing up into a downward facing dog. And then from here, let's pedal the heels out. You'll be bending the knees down towards the mat a little bit. Trying to get your heels closer to the mat. All right, take a few more breaths there. Keep going. Keep stretching out your hamstrings. And then from here, let's go ahead and sweep that left leg up and through. So we're coming here first, and let's drop that foot down. Perfect. Now we're gonna flow lunge. So let's go ahead and drop that knee as well. Uncurl that back toe. Then from here, bring your hand relatively close to the inside of your foot. As we then lift the other arm up in the air, coming in for a side stretch in our low lunge. Let's take a few breaths here. And then dropping that hand down. It's relatively quick. Let's lift up the other side. So let's bring that hand to the inside of your foot as well. We'll lift up the other arm, stacking them as much as possible, one shoulder on top of the other. And then placing that hand back down again. Let's go ahead and push back a little bit. We're pushing back into kind of a tabletop / stretch. Stretch out this area here. Stretching that as much as you want. Maybe you want to place your foot down towards the mat. Maybe back up again. Stretching out our feet. Stretching out our leg. Then from here, let's place hands down the mat as we open up. Coming into an abductor stretch here. Stretching the inside again from a different angle. Maybe you want to drop down as well and just get that stretch really going on. And then bringing that foot back around. Let's again push back into a downward facing dog. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So let's go ahead and sweep your right leg through. Other leg, opposite leg. Place that down, drop that knee, and uncurl that back toe. And once we're here, place our hand on the inside of our foot as we lift up the other arm, coming into a twist. Let's take a few breaths here. And then dropping that hand down, let's bring it to somewhere on the inside of our foot as we go ahead and lift the other side up. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then dropping that hand down as well. Let's go ahead and push back into our stretch. Stretch up that leg, really feeling it all back here in our hamstrings. Maybe putting that foot down on the mat as well, getting a different stretch. And then back up again. And then taking our foot off to the side for our side stretch, or an abductor stretch on our side. Take a few more breaths here. And then from here you can also lower down the top of your body. Back up again. Finding your way into a tabletop. And then we're going to go ahead and push back into a plank pose. Plank. Alright. So here we go. Let's come into a side plank next. Let's go ahead and lift. Arm up in the air. Then you can drop your knee if you wish. We'll just take a few breaths here. So it's not necessarily a stretch, but it's stability. And dropping that hand down. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So pick up your other arm, coming to a side plank next. Still dropping that knee down if you wish, keeping you stable. And then dropping that down. Let's go ahead and come into a chaturanga. So chaturanga all the way down. Let's push back to an up dog. And then once again, push back into a downward facing dog. And then from here, let's come into a pigeon pose. So let's bring your left leg up and through. And get that relatively parallel to the front of the mat, as much as you can make it. And then we'll go ahead and drop that back knee down, uncurl that toe. And here we are in pigeon. Now, if you can't keep your leg parallel to the front of the mat, that's normal. It'll probably come back into your pelvic area, but just try and keep it stretched here. You can keep your chest up if that feels good for you, or if you wish, you can slowly lower down. And we'll take a few breaths here. So, staying in pigeon, a few breaths. Slowly lift up. We'll push back into another downward facing dog. And then one chaturanga flow, because this wasn't part of it, but I like it. Chaturanga down to an up dog. And then push back to a down dog. And then we'll pigeon stretch on the other side. Getting your right leg up and through, bringing your shin as parallel to the front of the mat as possible. Dropping your knee down, uncurling that toe. And then once you're settled here, you can lower down as far as you wish to go. And take a few more breaths here. Oops, I stopped. All right, and then pushing back up again. Let's find our way back into one more downward facing dog. And one more chaturanga, push forward, chaturanga down to an up dog. And then push back. One more down dog. And then we'll find our way into a seated position again. Seated at first. And then let's grab our knees and bring them back into our chest. Good. And just here, let's roll maybe back and forth, up and down, side to side. Down, side to side. And let's drop one leg down. Keeping the other leg here. Maybe let's grab the bottom of your foot, bringing the knee into your armpit, into your side. Coming in for a half happy baby pose. Now this is only half an hour session. You can make this a lot longer by going a lot slower in all of these different poses. And dropping that leg down. Let's come into a half baby on the other side. Grabbing its foot, knee into chest, then sole of the foot with your knee into your armpit and side. We'll take a few more breaths here. And let's bring both legs up to a 90-degree angle, arms out to either side, as we then go ahead and drop our legs down to one side as we gaze off in the opposite direction of our knees. And take a few more breaths here. Continue on. And then we'll lift our legs up and over as we gaze off in the opposite direction again. Perfect. And then once again, let's grab our knees into our chest. Let's drop one side down. I don't think we did this. And then we'll do rounding of our knee, opening it up a little bit, just cooling it down. And then we'll drop it down and grab the other knee up. And here we go, circles the other direction. And then drop that foot down as well. And then just release and relax onto your mat for Savasana. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through my Savasana. But yes, that is yoga. There you go, yay. That's just a yoga warm-up session. But this was fun, loved it. Thanks for joining along and doing it with us. Yeah, home workouts.